What's up, you guys? Hope all is well. So, this music lesson online is for my fourth graders. Before we get started, I just really wanted to let you guys know that I miss you guys, I'm thinking of you, and I really cannot wait till we're back in class. Again, I really hope that these music lessons online are helping you guys. So what we're going to go over this week is what I assigned you guys for your at-home music lesson. So we have 3 things for you fourth graders that we got to go over. I put up 4 just because you guys are in 4th grade, but you guys got 3 things. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to go over is a worksheet called The History of Hip Hop. The second thing that we're going to go over is a worksheet called Reading Music. And what you guys are going to do with that is you guys are going to go in and open up this called Chopstick. It's called Chopsticks, and if you look, there's a bunch of different notes. And what I want you guys to do is I'm going to give you 4th graders a break, and you guys are only going to do the first page of this. Okay, we'll go into detail as we go along with this video and get to all these different things. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to go over is the worksheet, The History of Hip Hop. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it out loud to you guys, and then I'm going to go through the questions, and at home, what you guys are going to do is fill out this worksheet. Okay, the history of hip-hop. It is said that hip-hop music was born at a birthday party in Bronx, New York. This popular genre of music started out as party music in the 1970s. It was played by local DJs in the city neighborhoods. DJs put a different piece of music together, and as they did that, they did this to make new sounds. Then, rapping was added. Rapping is a way of talking over the music with words that rhyme. DJs arranged the beats so that rappers could find rhythm. Then, the rappers would speak in time with the beat. Rappers often wrote lyrics or words of a song and about their lives. Moving on. At first, hip-hop served as a response to disco. Disco was a dance music craze in the 1970s. Disco was all about wealth and status. Hip-hop emphasized reality and community. Hip-hop music and culture became helpful to musicians and listeners. It was a way for them to deal with the difficult things about city life. Hip-hop quickly became an artistic outlet to African Americans. It was a new way to tell stories. So, hip-hop evolved from just a type of music to an entire lifestyle. Hip-hop is an art form that continues to evolve and impact communities today. New artists and new sounds are brought into the genre. The new styles continue to become popular. Hip-hop is a genre which is heard and enjoyed all over the world. Okay guys, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the 5 questions that are on this page. Okay, number 1. How are hip-hop and disco related? So, it talks about this in this excerpt right here. One thing that you guys can kind of talk about is how disco was an association of wealth and status, and how hip-hop emphasized on culture and community. The second, why do you think hip-hop is an important music genre for African Americans? So in this section, you can look in the 4th paragraph line, and you can talk about storytelling. The third is, what are 2 things that make hip-hop unique? You can talk about how how rap was involved in hip-hop, and how it's people talking in time with a beat. Or you can maybe talk about how hip-hop was created and the different outlets that it used from disco. Number 4, what is one notable fact about how hip-hop music was created? So, you can talk about how hip-hop music was created and how disco played a role in that. And number 5, in your own words, write a definition of rapping. So write a definition of what you think that rapping is. Okay, moving on. We're going to go to our next part. This worksheet right here, again, reading music will help you with chopsticks. So what you guys are going to do is I'm going to read this out to you guys, and we're going to go over some basic notes. We have the whole note, the half note, and the quarter note. The whole note is played for 4 beats. The half note is played for 2 beats. And the quarter note is played for 1 beat. Okay, I'm going to read this out. The treble clef are higher sounding notes and the bass clef are lower sounding notes. Some instruments like the violin, flute, and clarinet only play the treble clef. Other instruments like the cello and the tuba only use the bass clef. Instruments like the piano use both clefs. The right hand plays the treble clef and the left hand plays the bass clef. So, now moving on. Label the following notes and number how many counts each note is worth. So what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to go down here. I've already written out 4 so you guys can see how I did it and you guys can copy me. So starting with the treble clef, you have your first note. So what we're going to do is we're going to identify what type of note this is. That's right, it's a quarter note. So I wrote a number 1 to signify that it gets 1 beat. After that, we have to write out the note name. So what I did was I went to my treble clef up here and I looked at the first line. Underneath it, it says E. So I wrote out an E. So I have 1 E. Moving on to my next note, I have a half note. So I wrote a number 2. It's on the second space. So I looked on my treble clef section on the second space, and what's it say? That's right, A. So I wrote an A. So I have 2A. Going down, we have a middle C right here. Even though there's a direct line in the middle of this whole note, it's still a whole note because there's no stem on the note. So I wrote a number 4 because a whole note gets 4 beats, and a C because it's the first note in the treble clef section. And last but not least, in the first space right here, I wrote out, that's right, an F next to my number 2 to signify that it is a half note beat. Okay guys, so now what you guys are going to do is once you complete this, I only want you to do the first page of Chopsticks. And what you guys are going to do is write out the notes on the treble clef. And if you guys want, you guys can do the bass clef, but I'm only looking for the treble clef for right now. So I'll make it easy on you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out each one of these notes. So I did a couple of them for you guys so you can see. The first one on the first space is F. After that, moving up to G, F to G. So I just wrote out all these notes in the first measure and a couple in the second measure. Okay guys, this is what I want you guys to work on this week. If you guys have any questions, please refer to the reading music worksheet because that will have all the information to complete Chopsticks. And this is a really good piece just to keep with you because we're going to be using all this stuff when we go back to class. All right, so that is our music lesson for this week, you guys. I just want to let you know that I miss you guys and that I'm thinking of you. I really cannot wait till we're back in class. I'm counting down the days. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy. All right, I'll see you next week.